This came early to Piers Morgan, working on The Sun at 23, editor of the News of the World at just 28. He was soon winning awards and getting into trouble. Victoria Spencer, wife of Earl Spencer, had been photographed with a zoom lens at a private clinic. The coverage provoked a public reprimand from Morgan's boss, Rupert Murdoch, the first of many scrapes that would have sunk a lesser editor. At the Mirror, there were more rows over this headline for an England-Germany match, and most serious over allegations of insider share dealing prompted by the Mirror's City Slickers column. But there were scoops as well. Princess Diana's former butler, Paul Burrell, famously sold his memoirs to the paper. Piers Morgan was irrepressible, energetic, inventive. Until today, too talented to lose his job.
There was an element of this exuberance which bordered on the recklessness, which has shown up in a number of cases in the period of his checkered career. And I think that this was the worst and biggest example of it.
Piers Pew Morgan, posh and middle class, was an unlikely editor for a Labour-supporting tabloid. But he was willing to try anything to stem the decline in the Mirror's sales. In one of his last grand gestures, a Mirror reporter was taken on as a footman at Buckingham Palace, showing how easily royal security could be breached.
He was an editor who made the Mirror a more interesting paper. He tried to make it a bit more serious paper. He made it a campaigning paper. He also made it an anti-war propaganda paper. I mean, it wasn't straight journalism. It is very slanted and skewed journalism, but at least it wrote about serious things. But it was also a paper that took risks. You know, as an editor, you can take some risks, but you cannot take too many risks, especially when some of the risks you take, you get wrong.
The problem for Piers Morgan were not true. At best, they were staged reconstructions of incidents which were alleged to have happened. At worst, they were out-and-out fakes.
You're not resigning.
Oh.
Thanks very much.
But at the headquarters of the unit involved, the Queen's Lancashire Regiment, officers were expressing outrage over pictures which they said they had now proved to be fakes.
These photographs had been a recruiting poster for Al-Qaeda and every other terrorist organisation. It has made the lives of our armed forces in Iraq that much more difficult and that much more dangerous.
The potency of the images has indeed been demonstrated on the ground in Iraq. This was a Muslim cleric in Basra a few days ago, using the photos to justify a demand that British soldiers should be kidnapped. The Mirror pictures threaten to compromise the work of every British soldier. So, just before 6:30 from the headquarters of the Daily Mirror at Canary Wharf came a statement. The Daily Mirror apologises unreservedly for publishing the pictures and deeply regrets the reputational damage done to the Queen's Lancashire Regiment and the army in Iraq. It would be inappropriate, it went on, for Piers Morgan to continue in his role as editor of the Daily Mirror, and he will therefore be stepping down with immediate effect. According to one account, Mr. Morgan refused a demand to apologise for the photos, was sacked and immediately escorted from the Mirror building. Tonight, his departure was welcomed.
Frankly, it is long overdue, and something as serious as this, yes, it was right. If he hadn't have, the one option he had was to withdraw them earlier and to apologise, and he didn't do that.
what happened in Benghazi, do you know if we have any evidence that it was Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb that was a part of the attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi and ultimately the death of Chris Stevens?
I think in this setting we can say that AQIM played a role.
These photographs have been a recruiting poster for Al-Qaeda and every other terrorist organization.